Hey everybody, thanks for stopping by the Terrible Games YouTube channel. We're going to continue talking about our newest game, Black Mold, and quickly we're going to just cover one of our cool asymmetric features. These are the Prisoner Contraband cards, and we're also going to talk about the the Fungal Thrall deck. So, as we have covered in previous videos, when you die in this game, you change into a Thrall, and you'll get access to this cool deck, and we'll talk about that in just a second. Firstly, we're going to cover the Contraband cards. So, each prisoner in Black Mold not only has a unique decision deck and a asymmetric vitality track with a number of different death and vitality spaces, but they also each have their own contraband. So in the case of Black here, we have the Haunted Locket. White has the Expired Pill Bottle. Silver, the Cursed Hand Mirror. Wood has the Bone Dice. Gold has the Greedy Coin Purse, and gray has the Broken Pocket Watch. Now, what each of these do, these are items that generally speaking are not, you don't take them away, you don't really trade them, they are with you and they are part of your character. So in the case of Black, when Black does a heal roll, they can treat blank outcomes as fit symbols, which will heal you. So that's great, you just doubled the likelihood that you're gonna heal. With White, they are able to specifically take away damage from spaces of their choice instead of just eliminating ones counterclockwise, as is directed for all other prisoners. Silver, if there isn't a benefit to a heal roll, they can remove a damage anyway. So each of these does a different thing, and part of the reason they're not actually like built into the card of the character is that we want you to be able to mix and match these as you see fit through different plays. You can explore different combinations of contraband and prisoners. Now, with that out of the way, let's talk about what happens when you are no longer a prisoner and your body has succumbed to the toxic tunnels of the Black Mold. Now, if you do not die outright, as we mentioned in another video, Silver, who is an elderly woman, when she dies, it doesn't matter how she dies, she just is eliminated from the game, which can actually impart a bit of trust to the other players. You know, you want to be careful of spending too much time near or around a player who's about to die because they could change into a Thrall. But pretty much every other prisoner in the game, when they die, if they die from spore exposure, will change into a fungal Thrall. Now, what this does is you're gonna remove your prisoner meeple from the board, and you are gonna replace them with a fungal Thrall. Any other fungal Thralls that are already in play, because the game will generate them at random based on certain decisions you'll make, you now have the ability to use any of them during your turn. So if there's already 3 or 4 looming Thralls in play, these are all at your disposal to use using the mycelium hive mind of the Black Mold's hallucinogenic poison properties. So every Thrall has the exact same stats. They do not have any wit because their mind is just totally gone to the toxic tunnels, but they are very strong. So they have a base attack of 8. The way that they heal and the way that they attack varies a little bit from the AI-driven version of the Thralls that you'll experience when you're a prisoner. However, one major difference is on each of your turns, you're going to activate any of the Thralls in play. You can use up to 3 move actions among any of them, so that's 3 movements for 1 Thrall, or 1 movement for 3 different Thralls, or 2 for 1. You can break it up however you want. Then you can complete a basic assault action where you will compare your attack score, which if you are fully healed will be 8, versus a prisoner's defense score, which by the time people are turning into fungal Thralls, their defense is probably going to be quite low. So you can assault, and that's great, you know, assaulting and moving, these are basic things. However, you will also have access to this Thrall action deck. This includes 7 cards that once they're used, you will actually discard them and set them aside. And until you use the entire deck, then it will be replenished. So what's really neat about this is if multiple players are changed into Thralls, you will be able to coordinate your attacks, deciding exactly when to use these Thrall abilities so that you can more efficiently murder the other surviving prisoners and meet your win condition of just making sure no one escapes. So as an example, we'll show you kind of what these do. They each have their own illustrations, but we have like Thrall Call. Generate 2 Thralls in an area you occupy or areas adjacent to one that you occupy. This is crazy because now you, instead of having 1 Thrall that you control, you've now increased the number of Thralls that you can spread around the board by another two monsters. We also have Bite, where you get to place damage tokens on specific spaces on a prisoner card, which can, you know, greatly degrade their abilities, lower their dice rolls, or maybe add confusion cards to their decision deck. You have stuff like Stalk, where you get to take an additional move action, moving through up to 3 areas, and then you also get to complete an assault action. So these are just really messed up and kind of make the game a lot more difficult for survivors, but super duper fun and flavorful for people who are playing as Thralls. The last thing we're going to cover before we wrap up today is the plot deck. Now, in the rule booklet, this is listed as an optional feature. I really hope that people try it out, you know, early on, but you know, there's a lot of stuff going on in this game. For your first plays, maybe it might not be the best thing, but this deck just grants a ton of atmosphere, flavor, and a little bit more brutality, but also sometimes a little bit of help. So let's talk about the kind of cards you can expect to see, and we're going to try not to show you too many because we really do want people to enjoy experiencing these for the first time without too many spoilers. So the first card we will touch on is the Madness cards, and I'll pull a couple of these to sort of give you an idea. Roughly half the deck is made up of these. When you draw, the reason you draw a plot card is anytime you reveal an area for the first time and move your prisoner into it, you're going to draw a plot card and see what kind of craziness ensues. Most of the time you're going to draw Madness cards. These you can ignore and you can continue your turn, so you're going to keep holding your breath, you're going to continue making forward progress. However, hidden in the crazy ramblings that are scrawled onto these cards are messages that, if you decide to examine them while still holding your breath, they might help you. They could say something like draw an item card or heal 2 damage. The trick is, though, is that you have to actually take a minute to look at these swirled messages, and I'll try to read some of this now. I can kill them first. No, just go away. Get out. Hurry. Me, unless. Why are they going to kill me? They are. See, so it's really crazy. It's a bunch of crazy like internal monologue stuff. But if you take a second to read them, you might look like sort of a crazy person because you're like flipping this card up and down. But there could be something that helps you. So if you're desperate, you can take a minute to read the Madness cards. The other ones that will happen are the Thrall cards. Now, generally, Thralls will generate in game when you roll to heal and a outcome of Spore happens. However, the plot cards will also drop Thralls into the game for you. And all this does is you just take a Thrall, add it to the area you're in, and then the AI-driven attack will happen. The third, and probably the most certainly the most important actually, is the actual plot cards. Now, what these will provide is some artwork, a bit of flavor text, and then either an effect that will trigger immediately and resolve, or the option to take a choice. Now, we ask that people use these in good faith, not skipping ahead to other options. But in this case, this one's called Loot the Corpse, and if you will indulge me, I'll read it for you. You see a figure slumped over on the ground. You freeze, fearing its dormant thrall. You look closer when suddenly a beetle scuttles across their cheek and down their chest into the darkness. They're dead. The pockets of the corpse look like they're full. You roll them over. A small cloud of spores kicks up. Do you loot the corpse? So without looking ahead, I can say, my first option is no. Feeling a little woozy, you press on, read no further unless you choose yes. I will choose yes in this example. Yes, you root through the pockets of the departed. Draw an item, then take 2 spore damage. You may do this up to 3 times. Cool, so I can accrue up to 6 damage and I can draw 3 items. This is very helpful, provided I'm not already on death's door. There's approximately 25 plot cards in the deck, and we do have plans to maybe hide some more in the game somewhere, or do some as a stretch goal. We haven't completely decided yet, but yeah, we hope you guys enjoy these, and hopefully this video has given you some information that will get you to try out Black Mold. Thanks for stopping by.